everyone. Welcome to Wise Up Wednesday, your weekly tidbit of music therapy information. Today we're going to be focused on trauma-informed music therapy in honor of PTSD Awareness Month, which is this month of June 2020. So first, let's start with the basics. What is trauma? According to Psychology Today, trauma is the experience of severe psychological distress following any terrible or life-threatening event. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a mental health condition that develops in response to experiencing or witnessing an extremely stressful event following the threat or death of extreme bodily harm. The APA said in 2013 that many U.S. citizens have experienced trauma within their lifetimes, with about 8% of them experiencing PTSD. The symptoms of PTSD include re-experiencing, vivid memories, distress, avoidance, negative alterations in mood, and nightmares. So what's trauma-informed care? It's this shift from asking what's wrong with you to what happened to you. Looking at the person as a whole with aims to realize the impact of trauma and recovery forward, recognizing signs and symptoms of trauma, and integrating knowledge-based information within systems. The Center for Healthcare Strategies lists the core principles of trauma-informed therapy as safety, trustworthiness and transparency, peer support, collaboration, empowerment, and humility and responsiveness. Different interventions for trauma-informed therapy include trauma-focused CBT, EMDR, and cognitive processing therapy. There's also been a recent shift to using creative arts therapies to address these issues due to their abilities to address symptoms of PTSD, such as emotional dysregulation, avoidance, negative alterations in mood, and arousal and high reactivity. These creative arts therapies include arts therapy, drama therapy, movement therapy, dance therapy, and of course, music therapy. So how does music therapy help? It's a sensory stimulation that can lead to specific responses due to brain activation, activating those memories, those emotions that go with the memories, the images, all of those strong responses that you get when you're re-experiencing and experiencing those symptoms of PTSD. Some of the outcomes that we focus on are development of coping strategies, understanding and expressing feelings of anxiety and helplessness, supporting feelings of self-confidence and security, providing a safe or neutral environment for interventions, and it also aids in the transition back to everyday life with the ability to handle day-to-day stressors. Those experiencing PTSD and chronic stress have a heightened base stress level, and so we can kind of help bring that down a little bit, and I'll talk more about that in a little bit. Some of music therapy provides nonverbal outlets for emotions associated with trauma, anxiety and stress reduction, positive mood changes, active involvement in treatment, enhanced empowerment, control, and confidence, and positive physiological changes as well. Some of the approaches or interventions that we might use are songwriting, and songwriting helps with the expression of feelings, it helps with storytelling, helps with autonomy, you have some control over what you're doing. Improvisation promotes the release of emotions, creativity, and a sense of control. You're controlling the instrument. Group music creation promotes sense of community and also shared experience, validation of those emotions and experiences, someone else to talk to about some of those shared experiences and feelings. And music-based mindfulness promotes reduction in stress levels and healthy coping strategies that can then be used to handle those day-to-day stressors. Resilience training is also important in trauma-informed care. According to the American Psychological Association, resilience training is the process of adapting well in the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, threats, or significant sources of threat. It's cultivated via a reduction in stress and fear and an increase in self-confidence and social support. Music therapy addresses these things through reduction of cortisol, increase in dopamine, and promoting feelings of connectedness. Music therapy and resilience training have many of the same interventions and treatment aims, so it makes sense that music therapy would be helpful with resilience training. And now I'm going to show you a couple of options if you want to try out music improvisation. Music improvisation are creations that are musical acts to evoke emotions, ideas, images, fantasies, memories, events and situations according to music therapy perspectives. It involves emotional, psychological, and creative expression. The traumas are expressed and processed both through music and verbal discussion within the music therapy intervention. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways that maybe you can try out some improvisation on a couple of instruments. One instrument that you can improvise on is a drum. And if you don't have a drum, really any surface that you can kind of drum on with your hands or with sticks or whatever, pencils, whatever, will work. So it's really accessible. And sometimes that release, that physical release of banging a drum can really help you work through emotions. All right, so here's a little bit of improvisation from me about how I'm feeling right now, which I'm not honestly sure how I'm feeling, so maybe this improvisation will help me figure it out a little bit. So. So just kind of experimenting with different ways of playing the drum and some of that release of emotions. I realized that I had some frustration that I didn't know that I had before, and I don't exactly know what it's tied to, but that can definitely be something that I might process later in a journal or with a trusted friend or family member. Another instrument that you can improvise on is a keyboard piano. If you don't have a physical keyboard or piano, there are lots of apps available out there. GarageBand on iPad has a really good piano. But to improvise, you're probably like, oh, this is so scary, it's going to sound horrible. I have a trick for you. Just focus on the black keys. If you only play the black keys, it will always sound good, no matter what. It's a pentatonic scale, so nothing sounds bad. That's how you can improvise on the piano. Thanks for tuning in and learning more about music therapy. I'll be back again next week, and make sure to check out our Facebook page for other posts and offerings. Take care.